Hello everyone. Appreciate you all joining me again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Chris Halstead, Managing Director of Sales with Brown Harris Stevens, Connecticut, and each month I give a quick recap on what happened in the Lower Fairfield County real estate market in the month prior. This month, I'm actually going to start with a little bit of housekeeping. We've had a lot of great feedback from our viewers, and due to that feedback, we're actually going to change the format of the report a little. With the intention of making this all a little more interactive, I'm going to be taking questions from the audience. So to kick off this month's report, I'll answer my first question. And admittedly, it's a T-ball, but I think one that's important for clarification's sake. I've been asked which towns I'm speaking about when I say Lower Fairfield County. This report covers the towns Greenwich, Stamford, Darien, New Canaan, Norwalk, Wilton, Westport, Weston, Fairfield, Ridgefield, Reading, and Easton. Whew! It's important to remember that I'm talking in averages, so statistics for individual towns will vary accordingly. Alright, now let's dig into the numbers, what you all really tuned in for anyway. And I'll be conscious of your time, so we'll move quickly. As was the case in January, when we consider inventory and outstanding sales, it's been a thin market. In fact, still historically so. Both metrics were again down from a year ago, and it's important to remember that things were slow then too. Talking about inventory, as of the end of February, there were 801 active listings on the market, a number that's down 21% from the same month a year ago. This accounts for 2 months of inventory when we consider the absorption rate. Obviously, to get an absorption rate, you need sales velocity. The number of houses pending at the end of February was 300. That too is down from the same time a year ago, marking a 9% decrease. However, the number is nearly identical to what we saw in January. So contracts signed seem to be consistent from month to month, holding steady at least in the short term. Interestingly though, when we look at closings in the month, the territory clocked in 251, which represents an increase, yes, an increase, from the same month last year, a 9% jump. And those closings are impressive. Buyers still considerably outweigh sellers, making this, again, albeit thin, a strong seller's market. Our average house sale price hit $1,500,000, representing a 14% increase over last year's number and is a record high for the month of February. Out of those closings, an astonishing 61% closed at or above the asking price, and our average list to sale price ratio clocked in at 102.4%. That figure has been north of 100% for as long as I've been filming this report, and had been steady there for many months prior, meaning this figure has been over 100% for well over a year now. Now, to wrap it up, I want to quickly touch on mortgages, as it's been something we've been keeping an eye on for the last few months. As you know, mortgages stabilized in January and have been hovering somewhere in the mid-sixes. There were some minor fluctuations throughout the course of February, but compared to what we've seen in past months, we'll call them stable. The big news still revolves around the Fed's decision to, or not to, drop rates. They're still indicating that that's their plan, but it's likely we won't see any drop until later this year. So it looks like any substantive correlating drop in the mortgage market may not be realized until the second half of the year. Alright, that does it for me this month. Remember to please read more about your market specifically, and please send in your questions. I'll see you all next month. Thanks everyone.